And the thing about it is too, what a lot of people don't seem to understand is that as long as you allow them to have the power over you, you will always feel that you're the lesser person in the fight. A lot of people got know that God with the stand. I remember I was doing a show up on Slam and I tell them, man, people go get out there and protest and things like and say one, you understand, look, we ain't standing for this shit. Man, what protest can achieve? Okay. We had a protest here the other day. We shut down the airport and the seaport. How fast the waterworks, man, get promised the money and so that we can make sure and pay one. That was a protest in a sort of way. So things can be effective is that a lot of people be like, man, nah, you know, I ain't really dealing with that there, you know what I mean? I ain't really want nothing to do with that. And we don't wait till politicians hold marches or so-called protest marches and stuff like that to come out. We gotta be, as you know, got people out there that defending we society and saying, look, the people is who matter. Because for a long time, a lot of people can't seem to realize that we, as a bond, we way stronger than any politician that stand up down in the House of Parliament.
Rastafari.
That's very true.
Real thing.
And that's what B.Y.A.P try to show the people. That listen, don't worry about them. Them could promise to feed you, but them can't feed you. Them could give you promises. That's all they could give you. Yeah, so if you got a country that's $2 billion in debt, what can they give you?
Right.
You understand what I mean? Reality, what can they give you? So we got to come now, it has to be some kind of shift where we start thinking now for ourselves.
It's like a real shift in mentality that you're talking about.
Exactly.
Man, you're talking about a complete
You understand
shift.
what I mean? It has to be a complete shift where we realize, listen, you know what? It ain't the politician that God depend on, it's you. It's him.
That's right.
It's her. It's whoever, you know, it's the people that's around us is who really we should be focusing on.
You optimistic that shift is happening or will happen?
It's already happening.
It has to happen.
Yeah?
It's already happening.
You see it happening?
It's already happening.
As a survivor
This
for people.
conversation is an indication it's happening.
Yes,
It's
look
all
at
part of
this.
it. It's all part of it. As a matter of fact, your brother talked about protesting and stuff, and yeah, but we can do that too. I mean, we got the ancestors that already showed us from Malcolm to Martin. We know what protesting gonna bring. But in addition to protesting, we gotta start unlearning and relearning a lot of things, and it's going to come with some growing pains. One of the issues we have right now, speaking of education again, is primary schools. And the truth is, the curriculum that we're working with was handed to us. Regardless of if we selected from a group of options, the options were still provided by the oppressor. So you only picking curriculums that's designed to create more servants in the terms of their mindset. For early out, they give you an anthem, they give you a pledge, but you ain't know how to govern yourself. You ain't got no rights. They don't tell you nothing about this stuff because you ain't supposed to know that. You're supposed to get a good job, tucking sheets in the Hilton or the Hyatt or wherever the building now, and be satisfied with that.
They teach you about, what I hear you saying is they teach you about what you are supposed to do for the state,
Servitude.
but not how you are supposed to participate in running and staking your claim in the state.
That's why they take that position as the politicians. You know, they don't teach governance, so they deal with politics. So like the brother said earlier, people got to come to a point where, but people can only do what they know.
That's a very important point. The difference between politics and governance.
There's a big difference between politics and governance. And again, they don't teach us not in primary schools anyway. I don't know with the private schools, but it might.
And then they teach you as they go about here, certain schools, you know, you go to a certain school to be, you know what I mean, to be highly educated. That's something that is bothering me. That don't kind of bother me.
No. If you really think about the way school was started in Barbados in the first place, though, it get ticklish, you know. But they didn't start schools to empower the people. They started schools to train individuals how to function within the framework of the system.
They were training managerial staff.
Okay, so understand that. These are components in a machine. You're being programmed to be a component in a machine. So you ain't gonna think about developing your own, sustaining your own, and promoting your own. Then that's not what you're programmed to do. So now the youth's acting up and all this stuff going on, all that's being programmed from primary school. And another way it's being done too. You see this thing with the flogging? That's a serious issue. Because it's a fact. You keep flogging children, when they grow up, they're prone to be violent. So you know what you're doing.
You've trained the child how to deal with somebody who does not listen, who does not do what you want them to do.
Beat them into submission, or what they say, beat the devil.
That's my perspective, at least. But
That's
you know,
the idea.
Emmanuel, I hear a lot of people asking, or they say they want to know, they're trying to understand why the youth's behaving the way they're behaving. They say, well, look, when I was growing up, it wasn't so. We ain't had as much as them got, and we wasn't as vexed. So you're saying that they're being programmed to behave this way, but people looking on and saying, well, this no come out of nowhere. How you explain that?
Well, it come out of nowhere because the advent of technology allows us to see more what's going on around us. But this has been going on for a while. It's only through cell phone or the children taking school that we get a glimpse of what goes on in the or behind the school wall, that we will see in the classrooms or the fights or whatever else going on, the different behaviors and different dark spots. But it's been going on. And it went unchecked for a while. Why? Because it was part of the framework. It was allowed to get out of hand. Because the system ain't going to change. The system is set to be the way it is. Like Lumumba said, we as a people got to heights and realize, wait a minute, if we go and save ourselves, we can't sit down and wait for the Christ. Because even if you're a Christian and you tell me you're waiting on the Christ, Christ said the word till I come. So you should be saying no doing nothing. You should be out working. There's work to be done.
And that make a lot of sense. That make a lot of sense. The work that you all are doing and the passion that you have for the work that you are doing, where does that come from?
It comes from Haile Selassie the First and Empress was
Rastafari.
It comes from the teachings of Rastafari, and and coupled with our life experiences.
Tell me a little bit about the life experiences.
Well, I mean, where you want to go?
I know it's deep.
I can tell you, let me go too far. Go
yeah.
St. Kitts, man. Go St. Kitts. Big up to St. Kitts too, by the way.
Yeah, Nietzsche. I see Nietzsche online there too. I want you had said something earlier about us not being highlighted, but I want big up Catch a Fire. Philippe, because Philippe was the first one, or first week there that came with Catch a Fire, set up and put it out there, and so as far as the regular media, no, we ain't looking for that.
Right.
But Philippe, we looking for this kind of forum.
Right.
The streets, where the streets could relate to it.
Well, the forgotten part, a whole mixed society. You got people use the streets to go and do the same servitude and all of that, but they forget there's only music for that, but the streets got so much more to tell that they don't want to hear. The stories of the streets is way stronger than any house society building can tell me, bro.
That's right.
Real thing.
That's right.
But that's where there's farm energy from the streets, really, you know what I mean? Fashion, music, the stories that you're talking about that they use for their entertainment and the movies.
The food that you buy.
Street stories.
The food that you buy is be right on the streets. The real food too.
That's right.
And you really study it, you know what I mean? And that's why it's look at.
Let me touch on St. Kitts. You was asking about my experience and our experience too. But my experience is long, and is so much to talk about. But what I would really like to talk about is my experience coming back home, coming back to Barbados, and actually what we doing now, how we started out, and actually our trips to other Caribbean islands, especially as the brother was talking about St. Kitts.
Because St. Kitts got a reputation.
Well, they got the highest murder rate in the world, right? The highest murder rate in the world. And
That's per capita?
Per capita.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We went to St. Kitts, big up Trini, and St. Lucia. All the brethren and sisters too out there in St. Lucia and Trini. But St. Kitts was a very interesting experience because it's so close to Barbados.
In terms of close in terms of what?
Of proximity.
Okay.
Right? And then then you realize that what is happening there, it could happen here.
What is happening there?
Well, St. Kitts have a serious issue when it comes to murder, the youths, and the youths are killing off each other. We know that is by design. We know the youths don't just get up and say we're gonna kill each other. But is the way it's been is you don't even hear nothing about it. The rest of the Caribbean hardly ever hear anything about when they hear about St. Kitts. You don't hear about that. You know what I mean? You got people that could go to St. Kitts for a week and never even experience that. But it is serious, right? It is serious, and a lot of young black men are killing off each other. We did a radio program down there where they wanted to bring in the Israeli special forces to train the police on how to liquidate the youths.
Is that the terminology they use? Liquidate the youths?
No, we use that terminology.
Okay.
But that's
Because that's
basically
in the end, that's
what-
exactly what's gonna happen.
You training people for terrorists. They ain't nothing the terrorists in the Caribbean.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? They ain't the terrorists in the
Because
Caribbean.
the Israeli soldiers will be trained to deal with the surrounding enemy forces. This is not enemies that they're talking about. These are their own children.
Children, exactly. So
Making mistakes that because of an adult non-supervision of these same children is why these children making mistakes. Because people feel that children is grow themselves.
we always say, and we're going to continue to say, the adults, until the adults take responsibility for how the youths are behaving out there,
Yeah, it's true.
the youths, if we don't take responsibility and realize that, listen, you know what? We created that problem there.
Which adults you mean?
Huh?
Which adults you mean?
Society as a whole.
I can't, I wouldn't point individual fingers, but the church, the schools, and the politics, right? Now, most of us went to church in Barbados. We're supposed to be a Christian society. Most of us went to school. They're supposed to be free education. But how is it then that you look at from 1966 until now, and the only thing that they have to give an independent nation, right? An independent nation is 3 new police stations being built and a state-of-the-art prison.
Man, I got the Water Authority
Right.
building.
No, we ain't talking about one because I'm going to tell you this.
The sanitation service authority
That's
at least
true, that's true. Yeah.
but we can't get a truck properly to work.
We can't
And water
get-
going-
look at
water
the
going
roads,
off.
look at the
Water
roads.
going off.
But we got state-of-the-art
Water-
waterworks building.
yeah.
Right? These are the things that we as people, man, we really got to sit back and check ourselves. And as I said, we ain't here, if a brother want to vote B.A.P, we ain't here to tell nobody we just don't vote. We here to tell them, look at how them politicians is function. When they in front of us, them is enemies. When they ain't in front of us, them is friends. We gonna do the same thing too.
It's true.
We gonna do the same thing.
Because anyway, it's killed me.
We gotta learn the game.
This
We
make
gotta
you laugh.
learn the game, because that's what it is. It is a game. So once we learn the game, and the same thing, I would never tell a brother don't vote DLP. Get where you could. I'd never tell a brother don't go DLP. Get where you could, but you see at the end of the day, know that neither one of them don't mean us any good.
It's a party and you weren't
it's-
invited.
Exactly. It's a party and we ain't invited.
It's
You understand what I mean?
real
Straight
thing.
up. Right? So that's how we got operate. You ain't my enemy. So why should I get
But
vexed with you?
that's a serious
seriously.
serious statement you make, Lumumba. Neither of the parties mean us any good. It's one thing to claim that they're incompetent, but it's another thing to claim that they are traitorous. That's what you're saying?
Listen, anytime I gotta come to you for a vote to get me in a position, and then when I get in that position, I turn my back on the people and put my hand and swear to a woman in England and take an oath to a woman in England. What is that tell? Isn't that traitorous? I put you there. The people put you there, and you turn your back on us and swear an allegiance to a woman in England to do her job, not our job. That's not traitorous?
Giving up your rights, man.
I don't know. Song a little suspect to me.
How so?
No, like he said, it's not the Queen that voted them in. It's the people that voted them in. So why don't they swear allegiance to the people? And the people alone?
Swear to the people.
But the thing about it is, these politicians, as far as we see, if you turn around and you look back at them people and see the faces of these people that just elect you, the sadness, the horrors, and the things that you can see back there, I don't feel that them is more look back there to see that. So if they look at the so-called Queen, the same way that you swear an allegiance to, that make them people bring slaves to this land from Africa, the same people you're looking at that take the Bible and write it in their own way and all these things, it make me feel like, you know what? She look kind of happy. Everybody look up here smiling. See all this sorrow and all this borrowism and people every minute like, I need my water bill, help me my water bill. I need help me my light bill. I now get laid off from the drainage and I got 3 children in the same school and a woman that pregnant and gave me my 4th child.
Lumumba made the point earlier that if you're getting into this, what they're doing, that you can't be doing it for fame because there's more pain than fame. And I would imagine it should be the same thing for a politician too. That's what you're saying.
That's the same thing. The pain of looking back at these people to see, damn.
Because really and truly, when you become a black politician, you get to that point and you see, look, this how far we gotta go. Yeah. I mean, that's a hell of a lot of work. You know what I mean?
Will you feel it easier? So just look, you know what? Just sign this bill and let it go through and the Senate pass it and all that there without getting approval from the same people, because you don't feel that a lot of people that vote for you can be like, okay, break this down for me so I can understand it. You know when they really break down that bill, like if for instance the taxes that just get imposed on me, and they have shown the people that vote for them that same fucking tax that they know impose me. How much of the people in the societies that vote for them would agree to have that tax put on them?
But that's the whole thing.
But so good. You rather look to the Queen. Queen, I can tax them bitches again.
That's right. Rather look at the Queen, but we got to really understand what it is in terms of what politics is, what it means by definition. We looking at it from one perspective, thinking that, well, this is what it is because that's what we assume it to be. But the truth is not. We don't have a clue what language they even speak, and that's why it's written in the form where you can't even understand it. You put that same tax budget in front of the average person in Barbados, they ain't got a clue what they're looking at.
But that's it, and to break it down.
So the reason why they do it that way, because if they do it no any other way, it go and expose itself.
Right. Because when you break it down, like, or for instance, you have, like, I remember one time I was telling my girl, was like, yo, you ever hear something about use a big word? And when you go on, you know what, let me go and see what it is. What the fuck you can just say? Shit. But you had to say feces. It sounds so different. That means, but you know what? It's the politically correct way of saying it, you know. And a lot of things that's always tell people is 2 things they can't believe. Nobody that got lie in the name. And a lot of them sometimes, I got virgin and think that in the force, there's good people. Because you've got left and you've got right. I got people that good and I got people that just want people that doing bad things. But the bad things get highlighted so much that the goodness get cut underneath. Politicians, lying his name. Police, lying them name. And a lot of the times, them lies is always come out. And the politicians is lying to people all the fucking time. You come and tell me you can get my society fixed. 5 houses burned on Nelson Street. 5. Men was living there since in the back here 5 years. 5. Ask me how much of them repaired or get any assistance from government to get repaired.
But he's saying that you got a community there now.
But no, that could use the community. Whereas that's what B.Y.A.P coming, or people like B.Y.A.P and these kind of organizations to show me, look, we don't need these people. If we come together, you know, say if each of we walk around our neighborhood and get $2 from every man we bought a pint, make man we can help them same people make money.
Who's for me? Every day people get up in the morning we get up every morning to go to breakfast program early. Let me tell you something, man. 4:30, 5 o'clock on the road, Barbados got people enough, heading to work, places.
I've been talking 7 o'clock. I could tell you how they're moving.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's the people in Barbados who does run Barbados. It's the blood, sweat, and tears of the people every morning, every evening, hustling to work and back home that has run this country. And get tired with it. So all these politicians, this and politician, that the reality is the people that does run this island. The people is the blood of this island. And that's what keep this island running. So as far as looking at politicians do something for you, for what?
How you feel about the for the last few years now, whenever you talk about governance in Barbados, really and truly, they'll be talking about the economy. All the talk is about the economy. Devaluation, downgrades, that kind of thing. The message that comes across to me really is the opposite of what you are saying. The message that I used to be getting when I listen to the media is that the country is run by the people who are managing the economy. And as long as the economy is managed well, then the people will be okay. If the economy falls down, then the people will suffer. That's a little different than what you're saying, is it? Or is it not different?
Well, as far as the economy or economics, again, this is all based on a capitalist society. They say Barbados is supposed to be a democratic country, right?
Yeah.
Well, what exactly is that?
a government supposedly of the people, by the people, for the people.
All the people? Because all the people don't benefit from the things going on in Barbados. That's a fact.
People in White Hill still waiting for that road to get fixed. People up there say again and get somebody up in there still want water. But we seem to forget about them that problem can come wrong again. And that problem, and when you look at that's one problem in Barbados that people look at and blame this current administration, but that problem come from the last administration, which was a other party. So then now people start to say, oh, we need a third party for what? How much fucking parties we really gonna hold? We only got 2 boats in Barbados, that's Jolly Roger and Buccaneer. We ain't need all that parties.
That's why it's so important, my brethren, to you know you're dealing with the people that never was taught how to govern. They was taught how to serve. That's what we've been taught, how to serve. So that's where you would see the reactions from people, the way they respond, the way they would still want to continue to vote, even though they see from 1966. If I put in this one, a few years, I get tired of putting in the other one, and nobody yet can come to their senses and say, well, look, you know what? We've been doing this since 1966, and it's getting worse. It ain't getting better. So what we doing this for?
You go on Minister of Housing that don't got a clue about housing. Like he's one politician because it's hurt me, big man, just to even think about this man. And not as a human being and not knowing or seeing the actions that this youth do. But you don't do nothing that you elected to do, that people tell you to do.
That's not their job. That's not their job. That's not their job.
There is no politician in the Caribbean. I ain't talking about just Barbados now. There is no politician, black, I talking about black politician, that ever did anything for the people.